Hey, I'm Ben Silverio.
And I'm Zach Shevich.
And I'm Ansel Birch, your host in post.
And it's
time to party!
We are not doctors, we don't give medical advice. Please drink responsibly. This episode was recorded on July 18th of 2022.
Yeah, like riding a bicycle. We're back at this. It's easy.
Woo!
Yeah.
Coming at you. I don't know why I said it like that. Hey, party people. Welcome back to the podcast. We took a little bit of a break because we wanted to and we deserved it.
Yeah.
But now we're back with more new episodes. Hopefully you're well rested, not too tired of my bullshit. And in today's episode, I'm bringing back a blast from the past, at least if you're someone who knows my work, which is probably no one. But
if you lived in the West Philadelphia area between 2008 and 2013.
Yes. Maybe even 15.
Yeah.
A little bit. If the words pretentious film majors mean anything to you,
And they shouldn't.
But if they do, we're back together again. Yes.
Guess who's back?
Yeah.
Back again.
Oh
PFM back. I'm going a cappella for you.
Zach is singing again.
I mean, it's technically like speak singing, but
William
sure.
Shatner.
Does it give away my age to say that I thought Rex Harrison?
Yes. There's going to be a lot of these little in-jokes, I guess.
Yeah.
Because Zach and I have been doing this together for a long-ass time. Previously, we worked together on the pretentious film majors at Drexel University.
Round of applause.
Yes. We took a radio show from WKDU and turned it into a YouTube / radio / podcast / quote unquote print media conglomerate.
Some are calling it legacy media.
Sure, there it is. Yeah, we did all that while we were in college and tried to spin it into careers. And it kind of worked.
Yeah, for better or worse.
Yeah, right. It's true.
Yeah, we're getting our way there. We're doing the thing.
We're doing the thing. Yeah, both our names are on /film now. Because
Only one through like covert means, but thank you for that.
I put Zach's name in my bio on /film. Also, if you ever look at my bio on /film, you'll find Ansel and Aaron's name too. Because I talk about the podcast.
Yeah.
You
Thanks, buddy.
know, for anyone who would know this.
Is that not?
doing it yet?
Are we not doing it right now?
No, the time has already started.
Okay,
We're all...
cool.
So now that we're reunited and actually in the same room, because Zach decided to leave his apartment in Jersey City for once. I don't know about for once. I'm sure you leave your apartment. You have a dog, so you have to.
Other than dog walks, it's not that often.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we're coming at you from this. I was gonna say City of Brotherly Love, and that's not where we are.
No.
The Windy City. We're coming at you from the Windy City.
Yeah.
Where it's not that windy because it's summer.
Yeah, it's actually like, as you were saying, one of the nice weeks here. It's like deceivingly charming and makes us want to potentially move here until like we come here in one of the colder months and are reminded that, oh yeah, if you spend 10 minutes outside, your iPhone will die.
Yeah. It's not great. Polar vortexes are not fun, people. Yeah. But what is fun is talking about time travel movies.
Yeah.
Zach, you picked a really interesting movie for our series of episodes.
I'm so glad you think so.
This movie is called Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes. Our friends at IMDb tell us that this movie is about a cafe owner discovers that the TV in his cafe suddenly shows images from the future, but only 2 minutes into the future.
Yes.
This is the directorial debut of Junta Yamaguchi. Am I saying that right?
I think it's Junta, but I'm not positive on that.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, this was a production from a theater company.
Yes. I believe it was a like post-COVID lockdowns thing, so it was something that maybe was like what they did in their interim. But yeah, this is like a theater company came together. This writer, Makoto Ueda, I believe, is the one who runs the theater company and wrote this play. But it's a pretty awesome, like micro budget feature that you can tell, especially they do that thing where they show you a little bit of behind the scenes over the credits. You can really tell like this was something that was scraped together and a effort of a lot of people like really meticulously planning this thing.
Yeah. We're going to get into a lot more about the movie itself in episode 2, so be sure to tune in for that. But first, we're going to give you some drinking and smoking rules to try out while you're watching this movie for the first time. Typically, I would say if you're rewatching this movie, this adds rewatch value. But I'm going to take a wild guess and say the person listening to this has never heard of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I was really excited by the opportunity to get to talk about this movie that I think not enough people are talking about, because it is really delightful and I think pretty unique and combines a lot of things that I think get people excited about movies. So it's just cool that, and you know, even though I don't know if I'm technically breaking the premise of this podcast, because while there is a device that allows them to see into the future, there's no technical time travel in this movie.
You know, we've tackled looser definitions of time travel, I think. So I'm gonna say it counts.
I mean, that's one of the benefits of the genre, is that you can kind of like apply it different ways and to different ideas. And yeah, I think it's really cool. This is, you know, a one take time travel sci-fi comedy. It's just a really cool movie. So
much like the Time to Party podcast, it is one take of extreme wackiness.
Exactly. I also think it's just a fun movie too, right? Like sometimes you get these recommendations that are a little under the radar, or you know, maybe a bit indie, and they require maybe a little more focus and attention and patience, but this is quick, in and out. It's a 71-minute movie, 73, something like that. Basically an hour long.
Hour and 10 minutes.
You know, and it's a fun comedy with time travel elements and people yelling and making funny mugging faces and stuff. It's great. And just the abbreviated runtime alone, for me, makes me immediately think like, you could essentially turn this movie into its own like Power Hour kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
They've got this device that allows them to see 2 minutes into the future. Why don't you take a drink like every 2 minutes?
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to turn this drinking game around.
Yeah.
That is a great alternate drinking game for this. Because like picking rules is difficult, because a lot of things only will show up twice. It's not like a recurring gag. But with your suggested way of doing it, I mean, that's very
it's
collegiate.
Like thematic. Yeah, it's thematically on brand for the movie, and there's like a collegiate element to it too. You can use this as your preview to the feature length thing that you're gonna do.
Yeah. Man, remember drinking in college?
Not a lot of it, but I the parts that I remember are great.
I was just thinking the other day about how I probably can't hang like that anymore. I mean, like,
I definitely can't.
Pandemic, like, I barely drank because, like, I tend not to drink alone. But, like, I mean, my tolerance was super high in college, if you recall.
I mean, that didn't stop you from going over your tolerance
threshold. True.
But yeah, you could put them away.
Oh, man. I remember one year, I think it was my senior year, where an underclassman thought that he could drink more than my friend and I. And she's a small Cambodian girl. And if you know small Cambodian girls, they don't give up. Like, they go for it. You know, they're not afraid of shit. So I remember she and I just started downing a bottle of Jack, and he tried to keep up with us. And he ended up passing out at the volleyball field. And we were fine. Yeah, as we were, you know. Shout out to Renika Ang in Philly. What up?
It's just gonna be a podcast full of references to people who attended Drexel University in the mid 2010 or the early 2010s. No,
late
2000s.
late 2000s, early.
There's not like
2010s.
an easy way to say the time that we were in Drexel. Like I want to just be like shout out to the aughts, but like
the post 1900s.
Yeah. Especially given the drinking and smoking that we're going to discuss. I don't normally get to discuss drinking and smoking that often on my podcast.
Really?
I mean, it's more alluded to. We try to. We're not. I wouldn't say we're family friendly, but we try to be like YouTube censorship friendly.
Gotcha.
Demonetization friendly.
We make sure to mention that you don't have to drink alcohol.
No.
You can drink pineapple juice. You could drink Canada Dry ginger ale.
As I am.
Yeah, you can drink water if you want. Like, you don't have to be drinking something that's alcoholic.
You could drink water.
I'm sorry, your New Jersey's coming out. You might want to check that. But yeah, we're not doctors. We don't pretend to be. Usually. So, don't overdo it. Or just, don't drink alcohol if you're not comfortable. Don't smoke marijuana if you're not comfortable.
Did you have any ideas for drinking and smoking rules for Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes? I got a couple others. If you need them.
I have 3. And typically I don't want to say regular length movie, because movies don't have to be 2 hours or 90 minutes.
We're not the runtime police.
Exactly. It's just like a lot of these other movies will have recurring things and things that pop up because of the longer runtime, right? Since this is so short, I couldn't really pick up things that I thought would be fun to like point out. And because one of the things that we recommend, sometimes if you're drinking in a group with one of our games, you might want to pick one rule and you're in charge of that rule.
Right.
And then that way each of you would have a rule to look out for. I don't know. It adds a layer of fun to it, I guess. But yeah, normally I have maybe 4, 5, 6 rules, right? But I only have 3 for this one. My first one is drink every time ketchup comes up.
Yeah.
The ketchup is a recurring gag.
And in surprising ways.
Yes.
Now, would you say I think there are a couple ketchup moments, but some of them happen close together. Are you saying that's 2 drinks or 1 drink for the larger ketchup experience?
I'm going to say multiple drinks for the moments. Because
I agree.
A lot of these are spread out.
Yeah.
You'll
have time to recover.
Exactly. You're not drinking constantly unless you're doing my 3rd rule, but I'm going to save that.
I have a rule that is somewhat similar to yours. I think you could take a drink, take a hit, whatever is your thing. Every time they say Time TV, or later they amend it to Droste TV.
Yes.
You've got this TV that sees into the future, and they get quite excited referring to it as the Time TV. All of this movie is in Japanese except for when they say Time TV.
That's true.
Yeah.
Even if you're not paying attention to the subtitles,
right,
you could play with this rule.
Mm-hmm.
That's if you're feeling real lazy about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how it played out, because this week I managed to watch 2 foreign films that required subtitles. This and Worst Person in the World.
Ooh, that's a really good
Worst Person in the World is such a good movie.
That's a very excellent movie.
Oh man, shout out to the Barnes & Noble Criterion sale, because I bought that and it was well worth it.
Yeah, that's a movie you're going to go back to probably.
Mini review. I love that it's a rom-com about a person falling in love with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just such a fun twist on it, And it gets so heavy in the 3rd act.
Yeah, it's one of those films that does a really great job of taking you through several chapters in a person's life and not doing it in a way where it feels disconnected, right? You really feel like you're growing alongside her.
Yes.
And because of that, when you do finally get to that 3rd act, it really is it's earned, and it doesn't feel cheap or manipulative.
Yeah.
And we're texting about that the last bit of dialogue and how devastating it really gets. It's such a great movie, and down to details you wouldn't even think about. One of my favorite things is how they will change her hairstyle with her profession. She gives herself a little makeover to start with new chapters of her life. It's
I didn't notice that.
Exactly, and they don't call it out, right? It's just she's got a new hair color now. So it's a great movie.
That whole sequence of her and the second main boyfriend figuring out what counts as cheating.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, and one of the most like romantic and tensiony filled things I've seen in a film, because there's not a lot of sexy movies, man. And I don't mean that in like the erotic sense. I just mean the like.
You don't mean that in the sense of your hard drive that you hide away from Caitlin.
Yeah, we're not bringing that up, but I mean in the sense of just like movies that like get sexual tension,
Yes.
and it does it so well. I love.
I don't know if it was like the writing or the acting or the combination
All
of
of it,
both.
yeah.
Like that made so many parts of that feel really authentic.
Yeah, I called it Amelie for Millennial Angst.
Look at that. Zach's a movie reviewer.
I occasionally put together some coherent thoughts. Thank you. I'm a Z Shevich on Letterboxd.
Yeah, that thing that you finally got me to do.
Yeah, I need you to start posting more.
Yeah, I don't even post reviews on it. I just post what I like and my star ratings. But like, I watch weird shit. It's my second rule is a smoking rule, which I typically don't do because I don't really smoke like that. But
It's in honor of me.
there you go. It's an honor of you.
Thank you.
Take a hit every time they talk about the pill bug.
Yeah.
Because it's later enough
Mm-hmm.
that if you smoke at the beginning of it, like you're probably like, okay, I can go for another one. But also the pill bug isn't like a main recurring gag.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes back in a really surprising way, like the ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
You're not expecting this like train station novelty item to have the impact it does.
Question: did you know what a pill bug was when he brought it up?
Yeah, I remember seeing them at zoos. I remember there was like an insectarium in Philadelphia.
I feel like I knew visually what it was, like once he brought out the toy, but something about the phrase, like it's just like not one of those words that's like, oh yes, the pill bug, obviously. But yeah, I guess because people call them different things, right? Like I feel like I call them like roly polies or something.
Because I was thinking of those bugs from A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to say that they're the same thing.
All right, so there are a couple kinds of bugs that this could be. Pill bugs, otherwise known as potato bugs, doodle bugs, so on. They are wood lice. There are also larger versions of these called pill millipedes that look almost identical but are nightmarishly larger. So who knows?
I'm not an animal expert.
Or an insect expert.
Or an insect expert.
Clearly.
Or a doctor. I'm not a lot of things.
I'm a man. A simple man.
Your next rule.
This is one for somebody who does want to get like a little more on the tipsier side, but maybe he's not going like full power hour. Just like you're drinking or you're smoking. You're trying to get it in. Every time they go up or downstairs, because there's a lot of like upstairs downstairs.
That's
in this
a lot.
movie. I mean, it's a decent amount, but there's also like sections to pace it out and sections where they don't do it. This isn't something where I would suggest like maybe like a full bong rip or finish a shot, but this is like if you're like trying to maybe you should be like sipping whenever they're on the stairs. That might be like a good way to handle it.
Yes.
Right?
That's a good way to handle it.
Yeah.
Okay. My last rule. First of all, how many more do you have?
I could do like two more.
Okay. Well, why don't you do another one?
Right. So anytime a new person or group of people enters the situation, like one of the things about this movie, it's kind of like escalating stakes and escalating circumstances. So sometimes people enter as a pair, sometimes it's just one new person joining the group, but it happens only a few times during the movie. So that's like if you need to take a bong grip or if you want to take a full shot, that's probably like a decent pace you could go at.
Okay. Well, my last rule should be your only rule if you pick this rule. It's a heavy hitter of a rule. You will be drinking constantly. Take a drink every time someone says time.
Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be a lot.
It happens a lot, but to go along with the collegiate describer that we gave earlier, that seems like a really college rule to apply to this. because, you know, just an hour of constantly taking a drink. Definitely a sip. Don't, like, take shots. Don't end up in the hospital. But, yeah, that one will totally do it for you.
Yeah. All right, so this is one that's more like if you're just looking to kick yourself off, get started. There's happens a couple times early in the movie and then slows down. But every time they say sci-fi, they actually drop the name of the genre in the movie a few times. And yeah, if you just want to take a drink, take a shot, or take a hit there, it's a nice way to get yourself started, and then you'll get to a place where you can coast and watch the rest of the movie. Right.
And then it'll be over in 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, party people, those are our drinking and smoking rules for Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes.
Yes.
If you want to watch this movie, you can find it on Amazon Prime, on Prime Video. They want you to call it Prime Video now.
Yeah, but like we're not listening to Jeff Bezos, man. It's Amazon Prime Video.
Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah. It is also, I recently learned, available for free on Tubi.
Tubi is coming through.
Yeah, Tubi is really, really putting it out there. You know, speaking of Jeff Bezos, I feel like a big thing that's going to be happening over the next, the next 2 years is this push towards the free streaming options. Amazon's got their Freevee thing now.
That's true.
They just had a big setup at the Pitchfork Festival trying to push it. There's Tubi. Pluto TV is another one, I think, that Paramount owns. So,
isn't Roku TV technically free?
Roku has it, and Peacock even has a free option.
That's
so
true.
All the big companies, except for, Netflix or Apple, are competing for that, free TV streaming ad revenue space.
Well, does Warner have a free streaming?
I don't know if they do.
Because Disney has Hulu with a free option.
Yeah.
I think it was Tubi that I was watching before. And they have nearly the entire run of City Guys.
Ooh.
And I decided to watch all of it.
That's the thing about Tubi is there's a lot of stuff you wouldn't expect. And
Yeah.
It's like, oh, whoa. Sure. Stuff that I feel like with a Netflix, there's a bunch of things that are on your list of stuff you have to watch.
Yeah.
And then with a Tubi, it's I never thought I would watch that, but I'm clicking play right now.
And Amazon Prime has pretty much everything by Gravitas Ventures.
That too.
How do they land some of the big names that they land in those movies? Because half of them I've never heard of before.
Yeah, I don't really get that indie big celebrity in tiny movie thing that happened. But there's so many just I don't know. I guess the actors got to work, but they're probably getting paid at scale.
Probably. Who knows?
Yep.
I don't know how that stuff works. I just write about it. All right, so yes, tune in next time when we review this delightful movie. Until then, party people, you can find us on the internet. I am at bsilverio20 on Instagram and Twitter.
And I'm at Z Shevich on Twitter, or Letterboxd, or wherever.
MySpace, Pornhub.
Yeah.
You can find me at Indecisionist on Twitter and at The Indecisionist on Instagram. This has been an Indecisionist production. Special thanks to April Moralba for our podcast art, and to Marlon Longett of Marlon and the Shakes for our amazing theme song.
You can join the conversation by using the hashtag #TimeToParty. That's time, the number 2, party. Do you want to plug anything else, Zach?
I mean, I also talk about movies on a podcast called Intercut, which you can find at Intercut Pod on also social media places, or Multiplex Show, which is where I talk about stuff but by myself.
Ah.
I talk about movies too much, Ben.
Is it too much? Is that...
I already, before I got here, I did an 1.5 hour long stream. It's definitely too much.
Yes, so until next time, while you're looking for Zach's content, while you're going back and checking out our stuff or whatever I'm doing in Slash Film, be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. I don't know why.
I'm a drummer.